Okay, welcome to New Moon Report for November. I'm going to have a beautiful new moon on November 19th at 10:47 p.m. here in California, so that'll be November 20th if you're in Europe. And yeah, we have a beautiful, juicy looking chart here. I've got the ascendant of this new moon is in Leo. So this is an energy of play and celebration coming right out of the gate here. But the new moon is when we have the sun and moon together right next to each other. And this new moon is in the constellation of Libra. So if you have any placements in Libra, this new beginning will be happening in that area of your chart. In the description down below, there's a link to a True Sidereal Chart calculator on my website where you can go and see where the beginning of Libra, or the constellation of Libra is in your chart, which house it's occupying. And that'll give you a more specific sense of where this new beginning is happening. But in the collective chart here that we have, the sun and the moon are actually towards the end of Libra. They're at 15 degrees, and Libra is quite a small constellation. And we are using True Sidereal, which is using the actual size of the constellations. True Sidereal is the only astrology system at the moment being used that is an accurate mirror of the actual natural sky. So if you're wondering why I'm using different zodiac signs instead of thinking that this new moon is going to be in Scorpio, which is what the tropical system is saying, in the sky in nature, this new moon is in Libra, and it's in the 4th house. So this is a good moon for really enjoying being at home and new starts in your relationships with your family. This is very much, we're in relationship season right now. And not just, relating to people, but also how you relate to yourself and how you relate to the universe is in the mix here. And we also have Venus in Libra, and that's her home sign. Her home, she rules Libra and Taurus, so she's very happy in Libra. And she's in the 3rd house, so there may be some interesting communications happening from your heart with this new moon. Yeah, quite an expressive new moon with Venus there in the 3rd house of communication. Also could be some new business opportunities, things you love to do turning into a business, something that you can bring into the marketplace that you love. This new moon could be illuminating that and opening new doors in that direction. We also have Mercury very close to the sun and moon there in Libra. And yeah, basically they're all together, the 3 of them, the sun, the moon, and Mercury. So it could be a lot of communication happening in relationships and with relationships and just within yourself, around finding more balance, more peace, more harmony. And in the 4th house there, we've got also Mars, who is in Scorpio. So yeah, also quite a lot of sensuality involved. This could be a very good new moon for a new chapter if you're in a love relationship, a new chapter regarding your communication and also your physical connection, your sensuality and affection, being that these are all here together like this. So over on the right-hand side of the chart there, we have Pluto just starting to inch his way into Capricorn. And in the map of this new moon, Pluto is in the 6th house. And in Capricorn, that would have a lot to do with things in the practical world slowing down a little bit, and maybe having time to pay attention to some things that you haven't been able to pay attention to up till now. So that's always nice. I think also the 6th house has a lot to do with our health. So we may see, with Pluto being here in Capricorn, steady progress, slow and steady progress in any health-related issues that we may be healing or working with. And over on the left side of the chart here, we've got Jupiter, who just went retrograde in Gemini in the 12th house. Could be getting in touch with some deep mystical information with this new moon. It could be opening a door to some things that we may not have been able to define or grasp. The 12th house can feel like it's just out of your reach. You're sensing something, you're feeling something. It's coming from the unconscious, but you can't quite bring it to the surface. Well, this new moon's going to bring it to the surface with a trine there between the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Jupiter over there in the 12th house. Could be an interesting time for inner reflection and really listening. Could be some new information that's old information coming through and bringing in benefits and blessings and expanding your perspective in terms of relationships. Also could be expanding your perspective in terms of doing what you love in the world and getting more information and more clarity around that. We do have it opposite up there to Uranus in Taurus, who's in the 10th house. And Uranus is retrograde, so the sun and the moon and Mercury here in Libra, looking for balance, leaning into relationships, more communication. Opposite Uranus in an earth sign, Libra is an air sign, moving retrograde in the 10th house. So there's some changes definitely coming in the areas of work and career. And this new moon is going to bring more balance into that area. It's going to bring more information, more illumination. You may find sudden flashes of insight coming through. Oppositions to me mean that there's energy moving, and it can be sort of a mirroring effect, but it can also be very constructive and very helpful. And Uranus is a planet of freedom and individuality. And in Taurus, he's really bringing that into your physical life, into your physical world. And here in the 10th house, he's bringing it into your career. And you could say, your role in society on some levels. So then over here we still have Saturn and Neptune. They've been doing this little dance here now for a while. And they're in the 8th house in Pisces, which again could be bringing in this sense of having one foot in the world and one foot in the spiritual world, bringing that in so that we start to get our balance with that, Libra, with the moon trine, the sun, moon, and Mercury trine up here. Finding a new balance where you're able to bring your soul into the marketplace, bring your heart into the marketplace. If there's been challenges there. And if you've already been doing that, a deeper experience of it coming through. And then Chiron up here in the 9th house in Pisces, which to me, the 9th house, is about expanding our horizons. It's ruled by Sagittarius, so it has a lot to do also with higher learning and higher information. We may get some interesting information regarding our healing journey, and we may be able to see it from more of a spiritual perspective and gain more insight through that dimension. Yeah, and we have this opposition between Jupiter and Pluto, and this will be going on for a while. To me, it has a lot to do with being able to expand into the deeper areas of our experience, into the unknown, you could say, or being able to actually get in touch with and access deep buried information and energy that has to do with being able to have patience and take a step-by-step approach to our transformation, and also to the transformation going on in our relationships, because there's a lot of transformation with this new moon energy coming in. It's bringing in a fresh perspective. And with all of these placements, we have, the Sun, Moon, and Mercury are all at 15 degrees of Libra. So they're basically all on top of each other. So there might be really an experience of expressing ourselves and sharing and communicating, and then to balance that with the Aries polarity of Libra, which is to speak from our individuality, to have courage when we communicate and express, to have courage to allow new things to happen, to allow change to occur, and to be honest and truthful about what we're experiencing and how we're feeling in a balanced way with Libra, from the heart, in a sensitive way, in a graceful way. So there could be a lot of very good communication that happens over this next month with this particular moon in the way things are arranged, and particularly with this conjunction between the moon, Mercury, and the sun. So also we have a lot of trine energy, a lot of harmonious energy going around here. And you see the blue, all the blue lines are all harmonious connections and harmonious flows of energy. So this could also be the beginning, this new moon cycle, the next month, of things coming together, things starting to come together that we may have been working on for a while, and some sense of the bigger picture, some sense of how we can work with what we have going on in our lives, and trusting the flow, that the timing of things, trusting the timing that with Pluto here entering Capricorn, that the stage, the phase that we're in right now is just beginning in terms of our transformation, in terms of going deeper in our lives and having a deeper connection with ourselves. And on a collective level, it's a restructuring of the physical world, Capricorn, a restructuring of society. And this may also be playing into what you're experiencing with this new moon, that you're sensing yourself and your relationship to society may be changing, just starting to head in that direction. And with Leo on the ascendant conjunct the part of fortune, to just remember to not take things too seriously, whatever it is, to play, to laugh, to enjoy, to celebrate, whatever you can celebrate. And the things that might be challenging or the areas of our lives that we may be uncertain of, to just have a more playful approach towards it, to not take things too seriously, and to give ourselves permission to see things from the eyes of a child, from our innocence, from our soul, from our inner knowing of the truth of life. And that really, what's the point in anything if you're not enjoying your life, if you're not enjoying your moment-to-moment experience? And in relationships, that can be very challenging sometimes. But to me, the lesson of Libra, the lesson of balance is to see both sides when you're looking at relationships, to make sure that you have an understanding from the other, if it's a person, a friendship, a family member, a partner, a lover, to make sure that you're open and available to see it from their perspective, and that they can be open and receptive to see it from your perspective, so that you can have real understanding and harmony. That's what Libra is all about, bringing in more harmony into our relationships, into our home life, and also into our work in the marketplace and our day-to-day life. So all in all, a really beautiful new moon, and much more focused on relationships and connecting and being able to see our own relationship with ourselves and bringing more harmony into that also, with our bodies and with our minds, bringing more harmony into all those different areas with this energy coming in. And the South Node there in Leo, on the left side of the chart there, is still working its way. The nodes move in the opposite direction that the planets move. So the South Node there in Leo is still giving us a chance to connect with our hearts and what we have loved in the past. But it doesn't mean that things have to be that way now, that we can be connected with what we've loved from the past. We can have our memory, our experience of that. But with the North Node over there on the right side of the chart in the 7th house in Aquarius, this is really about new energy coming in our relationships. This is a new chapter. And this new chapter is seeing more of the bigger picture of our relationships and how we relate to life and how we relate to ourselves, bringing in a more expanded view that allows us to really embody our individuality and at the same time have the togetherness and the connectedness that our heart needs. So I think all in all, very beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this unfolds as we move forward towards the full moon. But thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'd love to hear any questions or any responses down below in the comments section. All right, ciao for now.